To join you again and to welcome everybody to the half century of progress wherever you've come from around the world. We know there is some international representation here today, but it's just a great effort that comes to pass simply because of volunteerism, people pitching in and making things happen. And I want you to recognize your board of directors, Russell.
There we go. We'll start out. Dave Beerbaum, he gets all the tents. We got 50-some tents, 52 just to be exact.
Does that include the air-conditioned ones?
No. Dave Beerbaum, he does a bunch of work, and Barry Morey, he also with the tents and all the vendors. They're marking everything. They've been marking everything for, I think, 2 weeks.
To get everything in place with the tent city.
For everything. John Frederickson used to be my cohort here. Me and him was doing it. Now, right next to John, Derek Harms took over. So John was co-director with me, and then now Derek is co-director with me. Bunch of hard work. John's still helping us. Look at, he's right here helping us once again. So Ray Yukon is our treasurer. J.C. Rockmeyer, he is our advertising director. So he does a lot of that. And then Larry Berry, he does all the food vendors. He keeps them in line. He knows what he's doing. He don't take nothing off of nobody.
It's a well-oiled machine, I will tell you.
It is a well-oiled machine. We want to thank these guys. Everybody, give everybody these guys a hand right here. What? Oh, just a minute. Carl Van Diesner, he was our farm director. Right there in the side-by-side right there. Carl Van Diesner from Cyclone, Indiana. Once again, helping us out. Carl, thank you very much for all the years of service that you've done.
He's done so much for us. How about a big round of applause for the entire board of directors? And Carl, and I just have to say something. Nobody realizes, I think, the amount of time and effort that is put into it, and it is all volunteerism. And it costs to put on a show like this. It's a personal cost. I always talk about the fact that there is a cost of leadership, and people who step forward to help organizations give up their personal time. And you guys have done that, and it means so much to those of us who come here and play hooky with you every other year. Thank you, Russell.
We thank you, and people from around the world get to watch you on TV. They don't get to watch us. We just get to be on the local radio stations. That's about all we get to do. Hey, we really want to appreciate that. Now we're going to start with our national anthem, and then we're going to have the pipes and drums from Chicago Police Department going to do some work with us. So, Matt Bodine, where'd you go? Right there.
All the way stand and remove your cover if you have the opportunity to do so. We have the largest flying flag in America, brought from Gastonia, North Carolina.
You bet. Once again, Matt, you want to lay it on us here once? Here we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Matt, once again.
You ever notice, Russell, how many flags there are on the grounds here? We're not afraid to show old glory and salute our nation's flag.
That's right, and thank all the men and women throughout the world keeping us free to do what we get to do here today, celebrate heritage farming.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the pipes and drums of the Chicago Police and Fire Departments. They perform across the nation and perform competitively, and they show up at many events to honor those who have fallen in the service.
Yep, when they get to the intersection, they're going to turn and go east. So first of all, right here on the soon-to-be-sold Fireball Super M, Max Armstrong on the Super M. I don't know where you're going to have the Super M studios now when you sell the Super M. Super M. It's going to be Wednesday, is that right? Uh-oh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to... Yeah, we got Chester in the truck.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the Super M. We've had it, the International Harvester Collectors Chapter 2. Restored it many years ago after I got the Super 8s that Mom and Dad had. They said you needed a Super M to go with it, and we've reused it in parades, just not using it as much anymore. And I thought somebody else ought to have the enjoyment of having a great tractor. It's a great tractor ride tractor. We've even put a plow on the back of it and done a little bit of tillage now and then. But I also want to introduce the truck behind me. This is my truck, my International Harvester 1951. Yeah, the horn works. And driving it all the way from North Carolina is Chester Smith. Chester has owned this for many, many years along the Carolina coast of the town of Belhaven. That's over in that great, very productive Blackland region of the eastern part of the state. And he was kind enough to sell it to me, and we've been having a lot of fun. Mr. Bat from over in Brookston, Indiana, is with him in the cab. And I've learned a little bit. It's been a restoration, improvement of that truck by committee and by team this year. So I thank about 100 people who've helped me out along the way.
Are they going to drive it back to North Carolina while they're here? They might as well just drive it back home, don't you think?
Yeah, we'll tell Chester to
He's
pack his
shaking his
bag.
head no.
I really must thank Mr. David Farrell, who's here from North Carolina. He may be coming down the runway with his tractor, but he hauled it here 800 miles from Raleigh, North Carolina, so I could have the truck here.
Thanks again, Max. We appreciate you having the Super M around for these tractor drives, and we're going to just have to have you on the Super H now. Thank you, Chester. That was Radio Dispatched Armstrong truck right there. Then we've got three guys driving these first three tractors. They work at Beck's, and we want to thank Beck's Hybrids for what they've done for us once again this year. First of all, we got Clayton Steffelbaum, and he's from Lewistown, Illinois. Clayton driving it in 1959 730 John Deere diesel. You can hear that diesel knock in them two-cylinder diesel. Then we got 1955 Oliver. 1973 is the year, not a 1955 year. Jacob Schultz is driving this. It's a that was the biggest one, 6-cylinder, and then they made the 2255 V8. So right there, that was all Oliver in that one. Then we got a Farmall 400, and we got a stop. Bob Kincaid from Tipton, Indiana. Rob driving that 1955 Farmall 400. All the guys from Beck, we want to thank them guys. And then from Rock Falls in Illinois up, Jeff Lallemand, he's got this Minneapolis Moline A4T, and you could get that with that 800 cubic inch motor special orders, or else they would replace it. Jenny Dimpleman repowered this one. Jeff Lallemand, and he's got a couple of experimental Minneapolises over there at the Minneapolis tent. You got to see them. Then we got this Oliver 88 row crop, 1951. Bill Hirschberger from Troy, Ohio, and he said that was his dad's tractor right there, Oliver 88 diesel. Then we've got the 1206. Bunky's driving it. It says Bunky's driving this, Derek. Hey, Derek Hart is driving Carl Van Devener's 1206. And stop a minute there, Derek, stop a minute. 1966 1206, but he's pulling what tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, we're going to sell all 4 of these items on that trailer. There's 3 store-lock toolboxes and 1 park bench from Bear Creek, but the store-lock toolboxes and the Bear Creek Yard Creations park bench is going to be sold, and all the proceeds will go to the FFA. 40% to Illinois FFA, 40% to Indiana FFA, 10% to the winning bidders if he wants to go to his certain school, and the runner-up bidder gets to go 10% to his school. So we got a red one and a green one, so we're going to have a little bidding war between red and green right there. And then somebody's going to have a real nice big yellow and blue store-lock toolbox. It'd be nice in some FFA place right there. Now this is Bunky Doolin right here. All the way from Cordova, Maryland. Bunky's driving this 1966 1206 right there. Got them big 20.8s on that thing now. They only come out with 18.4s like this next one. And that's Webb Doolin, also from Maryland. That's Logan Milby's driving this one, 1967 on this one. First turbocharged tractor, wheel tractor that International Harvester come out with was the 1206. Then we got 1966 Oliver 1550. Alexis is driving this one all the way from Missouri. Please come and support the American Tractor Museum in Perryville, Missouri. That's why she got the sign on the back there. Over there in Perryville, Missouri, they got a real nice collection of tractors over there in Perryville, Missouri. Down in by the boot hill there. Then we got this 1955 Oliver Super 55. Bill Lyons is driving this from Troy, Illinois, down there by St. Louis. Super 55. And then we got this G705 Minneapolis Moline diesel. Dakota Butler from Decker, Indiana. First MM he bought in my collection, he says. He got that cab on there. 705, that was about the last. They made a 707 yet, but that's about the last of the big old standards just like that till they come out with a G1000. Then we got this 1966 Farmall 1206 Quint and Bonnie Penn from Ewing, Missouri. Third owner, complete restoration in 2012. Boy, they still got it nice and shiny yet. Polish that thing about every year, the way it looks. Keep her sharp. 1947 John Deere A. Brian and Debbie Dunham from Mulberry, Indiana. Brian's driving that John Deere A. That's a Cyclone John Deere A. The last of the John Deere A's, and then they come out with the John Deere 60 to replace the A. Then we got this 1967 Farmall 706 from Rossville, Indiana. Rob's driving that 706 gas. Pulling that wagon. Were you going to go haul some beans with that thing, maybe? Then we got another 1206, and he's a little different. He got that modified front end on that thing, that four-wheel pull on that thing. Lexington, Missouri. Randy's driving this. Randy Hoffman. Front wheel assist, 1206. Not too many in this part of the world. Then we got another 1967 1206. Heath Strom from Chana, Illinois. Heath is driving it. Nice 1206s. They really changed the paint scheme from the 806 to the 1206. They put a lot of white paint on the grill, on the fenders, on the back wheels. That's the way they come, with them white wheels. Now we've got a 100-year-old tractor going through the parade right here. Walt Kelly from Brookston, Indiana, and he's got electric start on that 1020. Now, it never came with electric start, but he put it on there so you don't have to get on the front and crank that baby. In 1925, 1020. Now, there was a bunch of them 1020s at one time. Just a very popular tractor around here. Then we got a very unusual tandem hooked up here. We got a A4T 1600 leading the pack here, and then he's got a G1050 behind it. So he's got 6 wheels that he can drive from Hobbs, Indiana, Ed Sloan. And then he's got, on the back of that, the very first engine, that's got 2 605 power units hooked together to make 1,210 cubic inch. And then he's got that 1938 2,700 cubic inch motor on the back of that. He's got quite the Moline there, and it looks like he's got 800 cubic inches in the first 2 tractors, 1210, and then he goes up to 2,700 cubic inch. So he's got the cubic inches cornered on the market right there with all that. From Medallia, Illinois, Hugh Forbes, happy to be part of the 1206 reunion. And there is a lot of 1206s here. There's got to be 300 1206s here, I would say, at least. Thank you, Hugh. 1966. You got that rear view mirror on there. Then we got 1960. Thank you, Freddie. There's Freddie running one of them telehandlers. He's unloaded a lot of stuff the last several days. Thanks, Freddie. 1966 International 1206 Wheatland. This is a Wheatland from Ontario. How about that? Grandin, Ontario. Dale Cook. Did it come with them big tires just like that? Them 24.5s? Yep. There you go. 1965 1206 Dale Cook. Jason's driving this one with duals. He got duals on this one. Now you notice that thing says 1206 with a decal. The very first one had just a decal that says 1206 till they come out with the emblem on them. Then we've got 1130 Massey. Al and Paul from St. Mary's, Ontario, Canada. Al's on this one, originally an Illinois tractor, he says. Got a 354 Perkins in that thing. Then we got another 1206. 5th AGCO from St. Francisville, Illinois. Oh, you're down there, God's country down there in St. Francisville. Landon Phipps driving this one. Dallin Locker from Greenfield, Indiana. Dallin's driving that 1850 Oliver. It also has that Perkins 6-cylinder 354 in that one. So the Massey had it, and so did the Olivers. Power just wheels on that thing. Then we got a 1948 John Deere AO. Christina Overman Sorrell from Greenfield, Indiana. That was Grandpa, she said Grandpa Wayne, in memory of Grandpa Wayne. Boy, that's that low rider right there.
Make room, David.
Then we got a John Deere 4020, 1969. Rusty Locker driving this. He says it's a 1969, right before the side console.
You know, I'm not qualified to answer the question, but was the 4020 the best, most popular John Deere ever?
I think the John Deere B was.
No.
Yes.
Of course, I'm an ineligible receiver downfield on that question.
Then we got that 1206 right there.
1965 1206, Dwayne Schmidt from Marathon, Wisconsin. Serial number 7590. 65 was the first year they made them, of course.
Then we've got this 1966 International 4100 four-wheel drive from Eaton, Ohio. Phil Jordan's driving this. Dad bought it new in 1966 when he was 9 years old, he says, and has remained in the family ever since. How about that? Original owner tractor right there, 4100 International. That's got that 429 in there, I believe.
Beautiful restoration.
Yes.
Here's a John Deere 4320, Doug Majors from Lancaster, Ohio. Doug is the driver, has a factory narrow front end. It was featured in the June issue this year of Green Magazine. That's kind of neat when your tractor gets featured somewhere, like in Max's Tractor Shed or something like that, right?
1972 4320 Edgar Hurst from Millersburg, Kentucky. Edgar's driving it. Original hours has only got 3,300 hours on that tractor, Max.
And a John Deere 4620 from Millersburg, Kentucky. Edgar Hurst owns the tractor. Bradley, his son, is driving it. The power shift 2969 original hours. Under 3,000 original hours.
How many?
Under 3,000.
Holy cow. We better break that thing in on a plow out here. Get a little dusty and dirty. That thing needs a little work. Now we got these Alice Chalmers coming, and this is for a reason. Where'd Sherry go? Here she comes. When she sees these muscle tractors, she's always right here. Sherry Schaefer from Heritage Iron Magazine and Oliver Heritage Magazine. Not one, but two magazines she's in charge of. Tell us a little bit about some of these tractors and what they're doing,
This
Sherry.
is a special tribute, right, Sherry?
Yes, this is something special that's been put together for a very good friend of ours. Little Marshall is 8 years old. He is the son of Christina, who is part of my work family. He's been with me for 7 years. Wonderful people. Unfortunately, he has been diagnosed with childhood cancer. And these tractors are here to show their support for Marshall. So you'll see the green bandanas hanging on the tractors. We have those at our booth, the Heritage Iron, Oliver Heritage booth. Anybody who would like to show their support for Marshall, stop by and pick up the bandana of Tractors for Marshall.
Yes, sir. Keep fighting, Marshall. We're pulling for you. Thanks, Rich. Rich Ferguson in the middle tractor right there.
You know, the D21s turned in a superb performance for us a year ago here.
2 years ago, we had 230 some D21 Alice's. And this year, they're kind of heading up with the 220s, so that's why we got 220. That took the place of the D21 in the Alice lineup. So all the Alice's showing support for Marshall. The Alice Chalmers tent has these green flags that you can be purchased for a free will donation. So head your way over to the Alice Chalmers booth. They got a real nice display of Alice Chalmers. I want to thank for all them that.
And be sure to stop by Heritage Iron there.
And
Sherry's booth.
You bet.
Show
All the muscle tractors there too. You bet.
Sherry is a sponsor of the Half Century of Progress. Big volunteer, the very first one, and we always appreciate her involvement, her knowledge,
Yeah.
and her support.
You know, you think one tractor looks the same, but if you look at these 220s, all the differences in them. With different cabs, front wheel assist, you name it, there's a lot of differences in a lot of these tractors. We had a 220 once upon a time with a year-round cab on it. Really was a big old horse at the time. Bob, them Goodyear tires giving you a nice little ride on there, ain't they? Up and down, up and down. Then we've got this little go fast. That looks like a Model B that makes it go fast right there. He's kind of got that thing all lowered down so he can take the curves real fast. What do you think, Mac?
I think so.
I bet you he could just slide around the barn in no time with that thing. Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have a Model G here, you know, the grasshopper.
Well, yeah, that little
Those are
rear end
popular.
of Jeep. Nice D15 right there. Then we got that other D220 right there, front wheel assist. All in its working clothes.
Sometimes you just don't mess with it, you know, it just needs to be left alone.
It does. It just shows how hard it works, and it can keep on working. They had that 426 engine in them things for years and kept improving them. They went from, you know, up to 3500 series to 3750 series, you name it. They had it all. Then we've got a 4020 gas right here from Pocahontas. 1964, the first year 4020s come out. That's what he says, 1964. Jacob's driving that. Listen to that John Deere gas motor.
John Deere 4560 from down in Owensboro, Kentucky. Miles Murphy owns this. Now, Miles is 11 years old. He wishes he could drive it. He will one of these days soon. Gary Murphy up there in the seat. And yeah, Miles will be coming along, that's for sure. 1994, John Deere.
Then we've got this 1981 John Deere 4640 open station right here. Ryan Mattingly from Owensboro, Kentucky, driving this open station 4640. Now you don't see that at all. The 4640 looks like he cut the roll bar off, but they could have had that 4-post roll bar, or most of them had the cab, but that's 4640 without a cab right there. That is unusual.
This is JC's Super M, is that right? JC
Yep.
Rettmeyer Super M from Flatville.
That was his father-in-law's. Wayne Erdman had that tractor just south of Flatville, about 12 miles from here.
It's like a 53 Farmall. Battery is up under the gas tank there.
Got that Schwartz wide front end. Uh-oh, who's this? Glenn Mast Auto Trucking. Call 4 4s and 2 2s from Napanee. Oh, he says Tom is driving from 95 years old. Tom Mast. It's a A model tow truck, 1929. Boy, look at that big boom on the back. That was a Ford boom right there that he's going to go tow somebody. You reckon he could tow your truck back?
Yeah, he's even got the Kojak light up there. Look at that.
Look at that.
Here's a 1964 John Deere 4020. Ted and Julie Peterson from Sharon, Wisconsin owned this. When purchased, it said "as is" on the hood, and so they continued to call it "as is." You know, it's interesting. A lot of people have names for their tractors
Oh, yeah.
and trucks.
You bet. And they also have names for their shed that they put it in a lot of times too. That's in as-is sheds right now probably. 1962 4010. They call Frankie. Ted has this one from Sharon, Wisconsin. The name Frankie refers to Frankenstein because it was using parts from 7 different tractors to make that thing. Well, yeah, see, he's got a 329 in that thing. He don't have the right motor in that tractor no more.
Here's John Deere 530, and if it looks freshly painted, doggone it, it almost is. It was just finished in the restoration back in February. This is Ted and Julie Peterson's tractor from Sharon, Wisconsin, and Al Reamer is driving it there, 1959 John Deere. Let's hear that 2-cylinder. Pull back on it. Oh, yeah. Hear that little front.
Yeah, it looks to me like, too, I don't want to touch that paint. That paint was fresh. Then we got a 1961 4010, first year they come out. This is also Sam and Cindy Peterson. We got Daniel, Thomas, Kara, and Daphne, a family owned. Who? Oh, that's what I wrote. Sam is in charge of all of this. Can you keep him in line, Sam? Boy, you're going to have to get a bigger stick, I think.
That primitive was built by
Minnesota wagon, yeah. That was a prison. Oh, really? They made them in prison?
Continuing through the lineup
Yeah,
of
that was
John
a
Deere.
factory that was manned by prisoners. I can't give you the whole detail, but it was.
Give them something to do.
Yeah. They should have more of that type of stuff.
They should.
Wonder if they took them out one part at a time.
That was a 4020 from
Seymour, Illinois. Early Farms, Phil Mullins, the driver on that 1966 40.
And then Drew Hahn's got this 65 3020 with that rollover 3-bottom plow. That makes that front end a little light, I bet. Then who's got the 560?
Nice looking 560 from the Hoosier State. Glazer family has this. 1962, 560 narrow front end from over Lawsonville, Indiana. And that's Bryson Glazer.
Same place again, Max, Lawsonville, Indiana. Matt Glazer, Matt's driving that Farmall M. 1952, the last year they come out with the M right there. There is a few differences in the late M's where they put the voltage regulator and this and that. There's a few differences in them. You can spot them all.
And the Ford line is represented. Here's a 641 LP. Don't you love the look of an LP, that bump up there on top? This is David and Norman Beachy's tractor at Plain City, Ohio. Norman is driving it. Apparently it came out of Kansas originally. I guess propane would have been cheap out there back in the day, a 1960 tractor.
And it was theft resistant. You couldn't hardly steal the gas out of the tractors then. Then we got this Ford 8-in Funk conversion right there with a 3-bottom plow because he got that 6-cylinder motor right there. And then we got, that was Dwight driving that one from Kentucky. Now who's got that 960 Ford?
Norman and Dave family farm at Plain City, Ohio. Brian Beachy is driving it. This was restored about 5 years ago, that 960, made in 1956.
That's David Delp with that John Deere G, 1953. Last year they would have made the G, and then they would have made the 70 after that.
You could shame looking at the finish on that tractor.
That thing is sharp, just like this Alice Chalmers Model CA right there. That's a CA. All the way from Thomasboro. Corey Mitchell has that one. And he's got the hired driver on that thing right now.
That was Corey's grandfather's, I believe.
Then we got a 1965 1206, the Hedrick family. From West Lafayette, Jason driving this. Jason Hedrick, West Lafayette.
Just west of the campus, probably there. Now, here's one from Darien, Wisconsin, 1966. 1206, Wheatland. Brian Nagonic from Darien owns it, and John is driving it. It was restored by John just last month. Holy cow. Just think how many were in a rush to get a tractor ready for Rantoul.
Then we got Finnegan Farm right here, driving a 560 with a transplant, got a 3208 on there the way it looks to me. 3208 cat. Fast hits on the back.
Steiger Cougar out of 1981. The Cougar PGA 280 automatic. Brian Grunick has this from Darien, Wisconsin. Brian and Sadie are up there in the cab. 3,700 original hours.
Really?
Sold new in Montana. All original paint. Wow. Thanks for bringing it. That was been tucked away.
Then we got 1966. Kurt Brewer from Bloomington, Wisconsin. Kurt's driving that 1206 right there, and he's got them brand new tires on that thing too.
Last estimate I heard, Russell, there are some 300, well over 250 1206s. Well over 250, all the way from Maine down to the Mexico border with Texas.
Ain't that something?
If you go into the 1206 tent, they've got the pins in the map there.
Okay, I'd be curious. I'm going to have to go check that out because, like I say, they brought them from everywhere, drug them out of the woodwork. We got another 1206 from Bloomington, Wisconsin. This must be Sue's. She hired the driver too. 1967 1206 on this one. He got them BF Goodriches on the back of that. 1206. Then we got somebody up in the air on this one.
Goodness gracious, is that a sprayer on there, Russell? I believe we're gonna.
Yeah.
That was well before seeing spray, right?
It looks to me like he got a burner on there.
Oh, that's what it
that
is.
LP
Propane.
tank. He
Burn
burned
him. Boy, that's a beautiful unit.
That's
John and
about
Peggy Curtis
one of a kind, ain't
from
it?
Ohio.
Mount Vernon, Ohio. This is Vic's high track conversion for flame cultivation. They're trying that again now, that flame cultivation stuff. Boy, that set the field on fire, wouldn't it?
1973 John Deere 4430. Jeff Schaefer has this narrow front end 4430 from Mount Vernon, Ohio.
Open station. Not too many open stations. Everybody wanted that nice, quiet cab that they come out with them.
You know, we have the open station mafia here represented. That's what they call themselves.
There's a few of them mafias around here. You got to watch them
That's right.
sometimes. Then we got this 3010 utility, Russ Sensenball from Utica, Ohio. Cody's driving it. That's a one-owner tractor right there. Thank you, Cody. Doing a good job on that 3010 diesel.
John Deere 3020 from Ohio. Horn equipped.
Horn equipped. It works.
John Norris down there with his hand on the button. John is from Gambier, Ohio. That tractor was made in 1972.
Then we're going to have a 1971 Case 870. Case 870 diesel, Colfax, Indiana. Jeff Blacker driving it, and Bailey is riding along with her.
You can see the magnets on there from the previous half-century.
That's right.
They've been here before.
He's going to have to keep adding to it. He's got another one to put on there now.
Thanks for coming back.
You bet.
A 1971 John Deere 4320, Jeff Blacker from Colfax, Indiana. Owns the tractor. Brenton Blacker is up there in the seat with this one.
Now we're going to have Mr. Alice Chalmers' son, I think, right here.
Oh, for years we had Mr. Marion Klutsky here from day one. And there's Randy. Randy Klutsky making his return to the half-century of progress with the Persian Orange and the buggy behind it.
And the buggy behind it. Randy driving the WD-45 dual fuel so it could run on gas or LP. And he's from Scottsdale, Arizona or Lafayette, Indiana, whichever one he wants to be at the time now. Who's driving the buggy now?
Julian Fruling. That thing goes up to 60 miles per hour. And, you know, we got to watch Marion bounce across the fields many times out here with that. Actually, Randy and I baled hay one time on a wagon behind Marion.
You was on the hay hook at that time.
They called me Hay Hook Armstrong after that. Don't ask me to do it again today.
Now we got this Model A Alice Chalmers coming through the line here. That's really a U Alice Chalmers rear end, and they put that big motor in front of it, and they called it a Model A. Might have to turn the screw in on the carburetor, smoking a little bit. What do you think? Now we'll clear it out, we'll clear it out. D19, now this is a D19 diesel.
That's a gas.
No, there's no carburetor there.
Oh, okay.
It's a diesel, the first turbocharged diesel tractor ever tested at Nebraska was a D19 Alice Chalmers. And that's it right there, a copy of something like that right there.
How'd you know that? How do you know that?
With a dry air cleaner, the first one with a dry air cleaner too. They all had oil baths.
Oh, my, International Lodestar. Back in the day, they made a lot of fire trucks. That was going to be about a 65, 66, 61, 62.
Then we got that 1206, but there's a story behind that fire truck, Max, and I forget the whole story, but there's something to do with Caterpillar. That's why it's over there with the cat.
I actually rode on the backboard there of a fire truck at the International, the Towanda Volunteer Fire Department. I had a couple of them when I was with them for 4 months. Then I went to join the Chicago Fire Department.
6588.
Snoopy.
Snoop Dogg Snoopy. 6588. They got that thing all nice and clean up. That was the biggest. No, they made a 6788 yet. 63, 65, 67. Then we got this D17. Joe Cragen from Whiteland, Indiana. That was Grandpa's tractor. D17, probably one of the most popular ones in the D series at that time. There was a lot of D17s at the time.
You still see a lot of them around.
You sure do.
Kind of attest to the popularity of it back in the day.
Yes.
Here's a W4. McCormick W4, made in 1948. It's owned by Almond Farms, Greencastle, Indiana. That's Bob up there, I guess, on the seat. Thanks for bringing it, Bob.
W4 had the same motor as a Harmall H.
Yep.
Yep. Then we got this 560. Kaylee's driving this one from Greencastle. Casey's from Greencastle. So 1962 560 gas right there with a fast hit.
That street pipe, I bet it's loud.
Oh yeah, she likes that.
See?
Casey, yeah, there goes Casey on the throttle.
An F20, real nice. 1935 F20, Bob Finley. And has this Gladwin, Michigan, I believe it is. And that's Mr. Lambert, I believe, driving it. That wide front end, narrow rear, spoke wheels, F20. There's something different there.
There's not too many of them narrow treads around this part of the country. Then we got this 66-1206 Josh Blondie from Benton Harbor, Michigan. Levi is driving it. That's what he says. 1966. Then we got another 1206 back.
Yeah, also from Michigan. 1966 1206. Levi and Grayson Trowbridge from South Haven. And Josh Blond and Grayson Trowbridge here with these tractors. Great representation from Michigan at this show. Oh, we got a Silver King.
Silver King.
I haven't even seen the card. I'm going to guess they came from Ohio. Half the Silver Kings on the planet, I think, are in Ohio.
When they first made them, they called them a Plymouth tractor, and then they had to change that because of the Plymouth car. But they ended up calling them Silver King.
Fate, what was the name of the company?
Fate Ruth
Heath or something like that?
Fate Ruth Heath. Larry driving his 1948 Silver King with that Ford bumper on the front.
Those things will go about as fast as you want them to go.
Yes, they will. They got a little Continental 162 motor in them.
1966 1206. James Savage.
Got that narrow front end on them things. Made it look tough, didn't it? but it's hard to plow with that narrow front end. And you need that wide front end to keep that front wheel in the furrow. Now I know this guy driving this 1206 right here. This is Adam Kazuzek from Nashville, Illinois, down there in Washington County. This is Ernie owns it, but Adam's driving it. Because Adam pulls with us. He pulls in the ITPAs. He drives a Farm All M a lot of times in the circuit. This tractor ran at Louisville in 1980 at the very first pro stock class at the National Farm Machinery Show. And they let Adam drive it today.
Wow, that's great history. Jack Gady with his 1975 Farm All 1566. It's owned by Adam Kazuzek from Nashville, Illinois.
Now we're going to have Mark Wood driving the family's 1953 Ford F-350 men bus and high bus. Had this truck brand new. They bought it in Gifford, Illinois at the Ford dealer at the Buzz Boom Garage right there. And they brought it to the elevator, and then they would raise it up on the lift, you know. And that thing, it didn't like that, you know, the motor was hot. So then they put a hoist on it, so they never had to go on the lift again. They brought that thing over to equipment, Flester Truck Equipment, put a hoist on that baby. And Mark Wood painted that thing. Look at that baby now.
It is amazing. How recently did he paint that, do you know?
It's been several years ago now. They bought that thing 30 years. I know, it's been a long time. That's him taking our pictures right there.
She knows the history.
She knows the history because that was her relationship right there. Her mom's aunt and uncle that lived just north of where I lived, about a quarter mile north of where I lived at one time, where Andy lives now.
We have a little lull in the action. Must be for effect here too.
It must be we got him in low grandma gear, as low as you can go, as slow as you can go. And I don't know if he noticed that there's a gap in the parade right now, but there is a gap that we might have to let him know that there is a gap.
I don't think it'll make any difference. We might point out that we do another parade tomorrow. There'll be one Sunday as well.
That's right. We do parade today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We don't do the actual parade on Thursday because that's a tractor ride coming back.
I point out to folks many times, you know, there's still equipment and there's still stuff working in the field out here on Sunday, and it's your best opportunity quite often to get pictures of equipment without people in the shops or golf carts.
I don't have a car.
He might find another gear, Max. What do you think?
706.
We're going to grind them till we find them. That's a 706 gas. And that's about all I can tell you because I don't have a card on him. Now he got it up to low second. He had it in low.
I just want to mention that if you have the opportunity to thank any of our sponsors, please say something to them.
Yes.
Because they make possible this event. There are a lot of costs that have to be covered in putting on the show every year. And you know, you can look through the program, also see some of the people around here who are sponsors of the Half Century, and we couldn't do it without them. We certainly appreciate everything they do for us.
Now we got this 1985 Steiger SM325. It's got a Komatsu motor, 1 of 70 with a Komatsu motor. Fry Farm. Jake's driving it from Pocahontas, Illinois.
A 4020. Lots of 4020s around. People just don't get rid of them. This is Kevin and Emily Carlson's tractor. Kevin is driving it. The John Deere 4020 made in 1964 with a 4-bottom plow, and he's been in the dirt.
He's been in the dirt, gonna have to shine that baby up a little more on the plow. Then we got a 1964 Case 830 diesel, Craig Day from Ohio. Titus is driving it. 830 diesel right there with the Case-O-Matic.
By golly, here's a tractor from Pennsylvania. We have another friend from Pennsylvania. Super A. Andrew Longster from Columbia, Pennsylvania. Andrew's driving that 51 Farmall Super A. Oh, equipped for tillage.
Ready to plow. 1972 International 1468 V8. Come out with that DV 550 at the time. Matt driving from Denmark, Wisconsin. Lasinke Family Farm.
And here's the 1967 1206 from Bodine Farms. Guntersville, Alabama. Logan there, second owner of the tractor. Low hours, 2,200.
Greg Kirkman from Williamsburg, Indiana. Driving that 686. Replaced his model 666. Sounds to me like you got a little help with a puffer underneath the hood there to me. Listen to that.
Somebody got some stuff too out there.
Here's a 1971 1026 Mel Sanders, Donaldson, Iowa. One of 29 with MFD on it. Goodness gracious. Thanks for bringing it. '54 Alice Chalmers WD, moving up here slowly. Come on along. You guys feel free to tighten it up a little bit. We have a long parade. Please move on forward there if you would. You can hear me on back there. This is from Carlock over there, a little bit northwest of Wilmington Normal, WD 45, made in 1954. Dave McClure has this. His dad bought it new, and it was the first tractor that Dave drove. He was 5 years old.
And here we got Ronnie Miller from Carlock on his WD 75, he calls it. He got that leaner motor in that Alice Chalmers. There was a diesel. Now he's got that, I think that's about a 263 motor in that beautiful six-cylinder right there.
1936 Alice Chalmers WC, John McClure from Normal. Thank you, John. Looks like there's a Farm Bureau emblem right on the front of the grill there. The Illinois Farm Bureau, the IAA back in the day.
There you go. Unstyled WC. Then we got this Model B. Dave McClure, Carlock. Kurt Jensen driving it. That's the nephew, he says. Model B. They made a lot of Model B's and C's at that. They started in 1938 on the Model B. Made them for a long time.
Here's the 1206 from Michigan, 1966 1206. Dwight Paulson from Cedar Springs, Michigan. Thanks, Dwight.
He got a horn on that one. Rob and Wendy Engel from Lowell, Michigan. Rob driving it. Miss Michigan 24 and 25, my favorite tractor, he says. How about that?
John Deere 4000 coming on up here. Come on along, you John Deere tractors. Move on forward here. Let's go. Well, tighten it up a little bit. We have a long parade back there. It's John Deere 4000, owned by Blake Degassi of Maryville, Missouri. 1970, really nice. Class of 70. You
Wow.
also? I thought so.
That was a good year, Mike, 1970.
You weren't,
just about as good as 71.
you
but-
weren't in the class of 70, were you?
Yeah. 4320, David Palmer from Missouri. Tim Conover's driving it. 1971, boy, they got that thing shined up nice.
Here's another one from the Show Me State. Burlington Junction, Missouri. Kurt Hagee has this 4520, made in 1969 when Neil walked on the moon.
And then we got 4620. Kelly driving this one from Burlington Junction, Missouri. 4620 power shift. You could get power shift or single range in the 4620.
And it
that
did
one's a
say-
power shift.
It did say class of 71.
71, it did.
1972, 1568. And Dwayne Cates has the tractor, Williamsburg, Indiana. Gary Green is the driver of this nice tractor. Man, that could make you deaf. Maybe that's part of my problem, being close to those big engines.
Dwayne Cates. We got Al Cook driving the Oliver. He can't even hear me. He always drives a D21, and now he's driving an Oliver today. Al Cook driving that 2255 Oliver, Williamsburg, Indiana. There you go.
And from the MF family, a Massey Ferguson 1155 from 1971. Dwayne Cates owns it. Fred Lockwood is driving this one from over to Williamsburg.
Then we got 1966 1206, Brandy Slipper from Stewartson, down in that Stewartson-Strasburg area. Brandon's driving it.
There's 67 1206, Glenn Eames Jr. and Rebecca Eames on this one. Rocky Ridge, Maryland. You come all the way from Maryland? Well, thank you. Appreciate that so much.
Then we got 1973, 1466, Clayton Thompson from Tower Hill. Clayton's driving that from Tower Hill. They used to have a tractor wrecking yard down there at Tower Hill.
And a 1206 from Tower Hill again. 67 1206. 3 years they made the 1206. So 67 would have been toward the end of production. Great, great, great tractor.
Then we got Kenny Compton on his 1206 from Tower Hill with a factory cab. That's the factory ice cream cab, they called it. And that door, when it opened up, the cable lifted that up on the other side there. That's quite the rig, and there's a tractor with a corn picker out there with a cab on it, just like it.
We have a pair of white tractors here
Right.
from over in southeastern Indiana, Rising Sun. I think that's Dearborn County, Indiana. And the Kirkpatricks have this. This is Clint Kirkpatrick on the Model 270 made in 1978. And
we
that's
got a-
Jared Albright on the 2105 made in 1977.
Yep. Then we got 1984 Super MTA, Alan Kirkpatrick from Rising Sun. Alan driving that original paint Super MTA.
How do you like that patina?
Yeah,
Patina.
you can see that.
An 826 demonstrator. Look at that gold. I wonder if it got painted red and somewhere along the line. You know, some of those demonstrators, they found out later they were demonstrators after they did a little scraping of the paint. That's an 826. John Buchanan of Rising Sun, Indiana. Josh is driving that one. Made in 1970. Oh, looky here.
Who's this guy?
Mr. Gentry, former radio man, former broadcaster, and he lived to tell about it. Dave was a long-time great supporter of the show here, of course, long-time broadcaster in the Champaign area. Dave Gentry on an Aseki, whatever that is.
Well, it's got a big muffler, I'll say that. It's about as big as Dave Gentry.
Oh, look here comes your weatherman. Those of you who watch This Week in Agribusiness, Mr. Greg Solier, the Soul brother here.
And he stole my tractor. The David Brown 980, it was a 990, and now it's a 980. We detuned it just a little to come down to 980. Greg Solier, thank you, Greg.
He's a genuine weatherman. He uses the old techniques. He doesn't just read the National Weather Service forecast. He generates his own forecast each week. This Week in Agribusiness.
That's John Matlash right there from Findlay over there by Shelbyville, Illinois. Granddad bought that new and right there.
By the way, This Week in Agribusiness still on RFD TV. Some have gone away. Not This Week in Agribusiness, still available there and other places each weekend.
That 1206 from Seavers Equipment there in Hamill, Illinois. Colby's driving it.
Colby Carlin.
Then we've got this 1971 Alice Chalmers 220 front wheel assist, also from Seavers Equipment. Jim's driving it. Boy, they got that thing all painted up nice. They got them Rice tires on the back. Boy, that thing gets stuff called the tow truck, I'd say.
Don't you love the Caterpillar show we have this year? My
Oh,
goodness.
my.
What a great show. What is this, a DW10? Yeah, DW10. Made in 1951. Goodness gracious.
Quite the rig in that day and age, wasn't it? Holy cow. Needs a drawbar on the back, though. He can't pull nothing without no drawbar.
Could put a PTO on there, couldn't you?
It looks like he could, maybe. I don't know.
40-20.
We got a 40-20 sticker range with an M&W oil pan on it. Looks like it's got an M&W turbo because that's an M&W muffler on there.
By the way, be sure and stop by the M&W display. Our friend Bill Burnham not only has M&Ws, but he has a Heisler tractor. Many people didn't realize that when we had Elmo Miners starting M&W here in Eastern Illinois, there was a fellow by the name of Harry Heisler doing similar things in Hudson, Iowa, 300 miles away in that same post-World War II era, trying to make tractors work better with their customized aftermarket parts. Go over and see Bill's tent. 1975 Oliver, 1555. This is Caden Smith from over in Howard County, Indiana, Kokomo.
Then we got this 1971 International Scout. Jim Homrich from Sparta, Michigan. Another one from Michigan, Max.
He's got those banners up. What's that? So you can find it when the snow gets so deep in Michigan. Is that it? You know, they do that with fire hydrants, and that's what they do with the Scout when that lake effect piles up over there. Here's the Minneapolis Moline UB. Come on ahead, you Mini Mo's. We want to put you in the spotlight here. This is Ansel Price from South Carolina, Saluda, South Carolina. The UB Special was the first tractor ever with factory power steering. Also has interchangeable front ends, wide, narrow, single wheel, restored by Mount Hope Tractor at Mount Hope, Ohio. But the hometown is Saluda, South Carolina.
But that's a UB Special diesel. Most of them were gas and LP gas. Speaking of gas, here we have this UB Special right here. Like you say, you sit up there like the regular UB, but it had a different grill and everything. And like you said, the factory power steering. That was Ansel Price driving that one. Then we got the BF Minneapolis. Minneapolis bought the BF Avery Company from Louisville, Kentucky in 1951. And that's a 1952 BF with factory 3-point and fenders right there. David Shetler is driving that one. Then we got this Oliver Super 88 diesel, high crop.
I was going to say, that looks like a high crop.
Apple Creek, Ohio. Melvin Wingard is driving that. He might have could go on a tractor drive with that baby the way it looks to me.
He's got that box back there, so he's tractor ride equipped. You can put your rain gear in there. You can put your toe strap in there. Whatever you need. Pull up. Some guy out of a mess. Some guy's 560, maybe that isn't running right. You get pulled with a toe strap.
Then we got Joey Rush here from Chatham, Ontario, Canada. Joey's driving that all the way from Ontario, Canada. 1977 60/30.
Thanks for coming down from Ontario. We know it's not necessarily easy to cross the border sometimes, and we appreciate you coming down for the show.
Billy Schroeder, Reynolds, Indiana. Andy Pastor's driving it.
Is that Andy Clean up there? There he is, ladies and gentlemen. He has more followers than Trump. Andy Clean from up in Canada Farms up there. He and his dad, good people, and Andy, of course, goes around cleaning up tractors. Loves those green ones, loves those green ones. I didn't recognize him up there. He's hiding from all of his fans. Just one person to come out there and just move them up.
John Deere 430, Matt Marshfield from Kenton, Ohio. Plow is built by Matt right there. It's got that V plow on the front. Then we got a 1950T, Don McKibben from Marshalltown, Iowa. Don driving it. Fresh restoration on that 1950T. You could have got a Waukesha in it, or you could have got the Detroit. The 1950T meant you got the Waukesha. Then we got 1959, 830 Industrial. Kevin Clark from Janesville, Wisconsin. Michigan. Got to read the writing. Kevin got a very unique 830 diesel Industrial. And then we got,
That's a pretty M with a sickle bar mower on it there.
yes,
Made in 1947. Dan Kameroff of Ashland, Ohio. One of 6 painted highway yellow. Yeah, you would have seen that out there. And trimming the roadside. We're back when we used to keep the roadsides clean.
and Julie is driving one of 25 Iowa State Highway orange right there. So we got the yellow and the orange. We could park that over here at the University of Illinois, though, and they wouldn't know the difference. What do you think?
Need a little blue on that.
For you, we could do a little blue. She got a blue shirt on. What do you think? 1206.
Yeah, marrying a family from Walkersville, Maryland. Eddie married, thank you for coming from Maryland at 1206, made in 1967.
Michael Payne, Walkersville,
Oh, it was Missouri.
Missouri.
I'm sorry, I may have put him in the wrong state.
Vicki Marin. I think, is that a M, O, or a D? I think it's a Maryland.
Maryland, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. We
I can
appreciate
read
it.
her writing.
Thanks, Vicki. Thanks for coming.
Now, Max, I know it got hot, but it shrunk this truck down a little bit. This is a 2023 half-scale Kenworth 100, built by the Little Tractor Company from Tecumseh, Michigan. Kurt Smith is the builder. This is built on a Kubota RTV. That was a Kubota at one time.
Adams County, Illinois, apparently going to celebrate a big, well, they are this year, their 200th anniversary over there along the Mississippi River, Payson and places like that, Camp Point.
Golden, Illinois is in Adams County. Bo Trout, Kurt Smith, no, I'm sorry, Dave Buckles. 1948 Farmall C, Landon Barker, Holland, Michigan. Once again, Michigan. Then
Got
we
a
got
fine Dutchman and women over there.
BR John Deere, 1946. Brandon McGee, Fenville, Michigan, on that low B. Then we got a 1206 back.
Looks like it was made in 1966, I do believe. And this is William and Beverly Potts from Smithfield, Kentucky. Thanks for coming up from the Bluegrass State.
John
Super
Bonnick
C.
from Crown Point, Indiana, on that Super C, 1952 Super C. How about that? Nice, too. It was a nice little tractor that suits his age.
John Barron. John, is the paint fresh on that yet, or how is that one? John does it. John Barron does an excellent job restoring tractors. Fun to watch him online. From over at Hebron, Indiana, 1966, 1206. Sure is pretty, John.
Then we got Jerry Roller from Monticello, Indiana. Justin driving it.
And from Churubusco, Indiana, here's a 1965 1206. Michelle Klickner owns the tractor and is driving it. First I thought that was a tractor radio up there. Is that a tractor radio?
No, I think she got her drinks in there.
Oh, maybe that's just a
Glass of water.
Oh, that's what that is.
1967 Cub Cadet 122.